He directed that the matter be mentioned on May 27th. The Director of Criminal Investigations had asked for 21 days, but after the court's consideration, it was reduced by 11 days. Investigators told the court that they have already recovered 178 mobile phones, which they want subjected to data analysis, and that most of these phones are new and were used to aid tax evasion.
The petition has been successful. The Honorable Judge, Justice Luka Kimaru, has ruled that everybody who has been detained to be released immediately on a cash bail of 200,000, and further that they report to the DCAI offices every day at 10 o'clock, and that they present themselves in court on 22nd of May, which is next Tuesday, when he'll be delivering his ruling on this matter.
Well, there are long queues at Huduma registration centers if you are planning to go get registered on the eve of a deadline. In typical Kenyan style, many have waited for the very last minute to rush and get registered. NTV's Helen Aura joins us live from Nairobi's Central Business District, specifically the GPO Huduma Center. Helen, we have been seeing those long lines on social media. Are they getting longer?
Gladys, as you can see, the lines are still long here at Huduma Center. Majority of the Kenyans informed us that they were here from 6 a.m., some even earlier. They had to ask permission off work from their bosses to come and register today ahead of tomorrow's mass deadline. The government stated that after tomorrow's mass deadlines, Kenyans will be forced to register with their assistant chiefs for the Huduma number. And what we've noticed here at the GPO center is that pregnant women, the sick, and those with disabilities are being given a priority to register as they're being taken ahead of the line. And Huduma number was launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta on the 2nd of April at Masi in Machakos County. The process has, however, faced backlash from human rights bodies as they went to court seeking to suspend the rollout process. The process was pegged on the 3-high bench ruling. Let me take that again. The process was pegged by the High Court by a 3-judge bench ruling. And I'm actually joined by a gentleman here called Moses, who has been here from 6 a.m. I want him to just let us know how the process has been for him today.
Thank you very much. We came early in the morning. We stayed for almost some hours, but at least it's kind of going. Though people are still not being Huduma'd, but I think this is a good process, and it will help curb the burden that the Kenyans have of the debts, and it will enable a better Kenya.
So for you, why did you have to wait to come till today, yet we had a month?
I wasn't available, and my work, I had to ask for leave end of month, so this is the time I had.
How has the process been today? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it good?
Moderate, but it's in a good progress. I hope it will finish before the day ends.
All right, thank you. Well, Gladys, the interesting bit is that the registration process for Huduma has been ongoing for over a month now, but Kenyans, we have been known for a last-minute rush and a last-minute culture when it comes to certain registration processes. And majority of Kenyans right now are asking for the deadline to be extended. I hope you've registered for your Huduma number, Gladys. Back to you, studio.
Well, Helen Aura, that is a question most Kenyans are asking themselves at this point. Remember, the government has put the deadline, as you mentioned, to tomorrow, but that process will continue with your assistant chief near to you. And the High Court also said this process should actually go on unabated. Well, something that will still be something that will bring out reactions in the course of the day, and will keep you updated on the same. Now to the corridors of justice. The High Court will on July 8th hear a confession detailing how lawyer Willie Kimani, his client and a driver were allegedly murdered by police officers. This follows a ruling by High Court Judge Jesse Lissit which allowed use of a confession made by one of the suspects in the murder.
In the decision that is likely to change the trajectory of the case of the murder of city lawyer Willie Kimani, High Court Judge Jessie Lasit said that she was convinced that the statement made by police informer Peter Ngugi was validly obtained. Ngugi had in his statement implicated police officers in the murder and gave chilling details of how the murder was carried out. The 21-page statement was allegedly recorded before Chief Inspector Geoffrey Kinyua on August 9, 2016 at DCI headquarters. The prosecution had in its application to have the confession used as evidence said that Ngugi gave the information voluntarily, contrary to claims by the defense which argued otherwise. Ngugi had, through his lawyer Nelias Kinyori, claimed that he was beaten by police officers to confess. He also claimed that one John Mburu, who is his younger brother and whom he nominated to be present during the confession, was a Class 3 dropout who did not understand English. Other than Ngugi, 4 administration police officers, Frederick Leliman, Stephen Cheburet, Sylvia Wanjiku, and Leonard Maina Mwangi, are charged with the 3 murders. The court declined to release the 4 officers on bond. Kimani, his client, and a taxi driver were kidnapped after leaving the Mavoko law courts on June 23, 2016. Their bodies were retrieved 1 week later from the Athi River near Donyosabuk police post. Silas Apollo, NTV.
To Machakos County, and police have arrested 4 people in connection with the murder of 32-year-old Esther Wavinya. Wavinya was attacked, raped and brutally murdered inside her house. The 4 suspects are said to be relatives of the deceased. The motive of the murder is suspected to be a land row that went too far.
This is where the body of the late Esther Wavinya was discovered, the scene telling of a crime of passion. Wavinya was an unmarried woman living with disability. Her aide noticed that all was not well when her phone calls to her employer and friend went unanswered.
On Tuesday morning ilikuja nikakuja kuangalia kwa nini hakuchukua simu yangu. Nikamkuta amelala kwa kitanda, nikachunguza.
According to those who arrived at the scene, it appeared that she had been raped and shameful acts done on her body. Her walking stick had been inserted inside her private parts.
Nikaona dada yangu amelazwa hapo kwa kitanda, ameuliwa, ametendewa kinyama sijawahi ona duniani.
Neighbors say the late Esther Wavinya was receiving death threats from her sister-in-law and her sons, threats that she took lightly.
Na huyu mwanamke sijui kama ni mtu, sijui kama ni nyoka, sijui kama ni mwanamke wa aina gani, kwa sababu hana huruma.
Among those arrested are close family members, one of them being the said sister-in-law, her 2 sons and a neighbor. They are being held at the Machakos police station. Police say the motive of the killing could be a land dispute involving a 5-acre piece of land which the suspects wanted to inherit fully and not to share with the unmarried disabled woman. The body of the deceased has been taken to Machakos Level 5 mortuary. According to the police, the suspects are expected to be arraigned once investigations are complete. Charity Mwangi.
Investigators probing a high-profile gold fraud case that has looped in a serving senator have been given 7 more days to hold on to the key suspects, that is Jared Otieno. Now we join NTV's Mel Miendo live from Milimani Law Courts. Mel, what is the latest?
Thank you so much for that, Gladys. As you've mentioned, he has been allowed 7 more days, and it's the prosecution that had asked for 14 days. But the senior principal magistrate, Paul Mayova, has only given them 7 days. Jared Otieno will be held at the Kilelesho police station until the 24th of May, when the case will be mentioned here at the Milimani Law Courts. And just a quick one, Gladys, when we came here early in the morning today, Jared had been brought here and was being held inside the cells here at the Milimani Law Courts. And earlier they had given that miscellaneous mandamus application to the court. The prosecution, as I've mentioned, were asking for 14 days, and the defense, representing Jared Otieno, said that there was no reason to hold their suspect anymore, that indeed investigators and detectives should allow him to be free on bail and bond, and even as the case continues. But as we've heard from the senior principal magistrate, is that Jared will be inside the cells for the weekend, obviously, and also other days until the 24th of May. And as you know, Gladys, this is a fake gold syndicate, and so there's so much more to this than what we've heard for now.
Definitely, Mel. Me and a lot more will be coming out from the Milimani law courts. Thank you for bringing her up to speed on the same. And the main murder suspect accused of killing a female prison warder was today arraigned in Murang'a court together with other two people. Joseph Ochieng, who was captured on CCTV leaving the murder scene, was arraigned in court in connection with the gruesome murder of the warder who was found dead in her rental house on May 16th. The suspect and the deceased were said to have met on Facebook 3 months ago, and he had visited the deceased for the first time in Murang'a.
Barefoot, the 24-year-old Ochieng was presented in court in the company of two others, Rogers Namkuro and Mary Amolo, who were in the company of the accused when he was arrested on Thursday morning in Kericho County on transit to Kisumu. The investigation officer Phoebe Okomo asked the court to have the suspect detained at Murang'a police station to allow police to conclude investigations. The prosecution termed them flight risks.
Your Honor, it's under that strength that we are also seeking for such warrant to enable us search the residence of the suspect before this court.
The magistrate granted the police their prayers.
The suspects have been mentioned to be at flight risk, and they were arrested on transit to Kisumu. I therefore grant the DCI 14 days to complete the investigation. At the same time, they shall obtain a search warrant to enable them visit the homesteads of the suspects with the aim of recovering the alleged missing items of the deceased.
The second suspect, Namkuro, told the court that the stolen goods were at his home. Peterson Njiru, who was arraigned in court on Thursday, was released after the detectives withdrew the miscellaneous application that allowed them to hold him at Murang'a police station for 14 days.
I wish to withdraw the miscellaneous application that I made against the suspect, the respondent, and do take him to Murang'a police station, whereby he will be released on a police bond, where he will be appearing to the DCI of Murang'a North on a weekly basis.
Njiru had been arrested since he was the known boyfriend of the prison warder. Martin Mora, NTV, Murang'a County.
Now, the struggle in the top management at the Nairobi hospital has taken another turn as the side aligned to the ousted board of management dismissed a meeting held on Wednesday that installed a new board. They say the new board is illegal and therefore lacks validity. In a statement published in the Friday edition of the Daily Nation, the board of management of the Kenya Hospital Association that runs the privately owned hospital informed that the court has issued an order restraining those who had been elected on Wednesday from assuming office pending an inter-parties hearing. It further stated that the validly elected board of management will continue to run the hospital that has been caught in an internal wrangle at board level after the ouster of the hospital's former CEO, Gordon Odundo. To Busia County, and the Assembly Minority Leader Felix Omanyi has tabled a motion from the House for the House to form a committee to investigate the Department of Finance, ICT and Planning for failing to avail funds to initiate development projects in the county since the 2017-2018 financial year. The motion was supported by Nambale Township Ward Rep, that is Mwajuma Toloi, who claimed that the department has failed terribly, considering the fact that the supplementary budget was passed within within time for projects to be initiated on time. Minority Leader Felix Omanyi has requested the House to fully support the adoption of a motion to enable Busia County get development projects, as currently the residents are suffering with poor road networks, inadequate water and inadequate drugs in hospitals. And in Kilifi County, over 500 fishermen from the Kilifi Central Beach Management Union have threatened to stop the ongoing refurbishment of a fish market. The fishermen, led by the Vice Chairman, that is Henry Mzungu, stated that the county government, which has been allocated 5 million Kenya shillings for the construction of new modern facilities, has misappropriated the funds. The county chairman of boat operators, Isaiah Chalo, stated that there is need for a new market, as some of the ladies who sell fish are forced to conduct their business on sand due to limited space.
County ishawahi kupanga budget ya milioni 15 ili ijengwe hii jengo, na haikujengeka wakati county zimeingia ule miaka ya kwanza ambaye alikuwa chief ofisani Bwana Baha, na ikajengwa, hiyo pesa ikapangwa, lakini mjengo haukujengwa.
Tunataka ile soko jipya ili kuweze kuwa na miundo misingi mipya ambayo inaweza kusaidia kina mama kuweza kutengeneza samaki wao kwa njia nzuri, sababu kina mama samaki wao wanatengenezea kwenye michanga hapo.
Away from that, all the 47 county governments have been urged to establish geospatial technology systems, GTS, in a bid to improve on efficiency, prudent use of resources and planning. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa said in Vihiga that following the recent move by the national government to adopt the joint resource mapping, the stage is set for counties to roll out the technology.
Yes, yeah, for today, yeah.
The CS made the remarks during the launch of a geospatial technology laboratory in Vihiga County.
The main working space.
Wamalwa said that the establishment of GTS is a requirement set out in the County Government Act 2012, clauses 105F.
And we want to assure you as national government, we've also started the national special mapping program. The president launched it in February, and we are working with the counties to see if we can integrate the systems to improve revenue collection and all that. So today we are here to congratulate Vihiga for being #1 in taking this great leap.
GTS-based database systems, he said, avails useful data required for proper planning and prudent use of resources. Complexities of geospatial technology and assumption that it is too expensive have been cited as some of the reasons why most counties are yet to embrace it. So far, only Makueni and Nandi counties have installed the facilities.
Other counties, including my home county, my governor Ayamba is here, Bungoma Professor Gomez is around. I think they are going to follow suit.
Governor Otichilo said that the application of geospatial technologies in government generates necessary data and crucial information that enables effective service delivery.
And you can see from that, you can see literally everything. Anything to the road conditions, you can see. If you zoom in, you can be able to see road conditions. If people are building new buildings, you can see. So in terms of controlled land use, you can do it. If you are dealing with the land rates, you can still identify farms from there. If you are collecting rates from building, which we collect, you will know who is building.
Kusa, NTV.
To the north now, it has been a little more than a month since 2 Cuban doctors stationed in Mandera were abducted. In that time, the border has been closed and security heightened. As a result, the flow of business between Kenya and Somalia via Mandera has been affected, pushing up the cost of goods in the border town. Ahmed Maulid with the details.
This is the official Kenya-Somalia border point in the town of Mandera. The usually busy and thriving crossing now remains empty. Not far from the main point is this illegal crossing, commonly referred to as a panya route, a favorite among traders because it enabled them evade taxes. But since the abduction of the 2 equipment doctors in this town, both of these border points are now closed. The heightened security has brought business to a halt in this town, with barely any goods getting in and out of both countries. The total shutdown of the border has created shortage of supply of goods in Mandera, as the town relies heavily on goods from the other side of the border town of Bulahawa. As a result, the price of the goods in Mandera have drastically shot up in recent days. The new security measures are straining the residents of the town, who now can barely afford food.
Biashara mkuu kali bei imeongezeka mrudufu kwa sababu ya mpaka Mandera na Bulahawa. Mandera Kenya na Somalia mpaka imefungwa.
The locals who are now feeling price inflation of goods when the government opened the border, since the town heavily depends on goods from Somalia.
Tunaomba kwa serikali hii mambo hiyo shida itotoe hapo tafadhali.
Besides the flow of business, humanitarian aid into Somalia has also been affected. These trucks have been stranded at the border for more than a month now, despite having a valid documents to cross.
Sasa kama ni vitu hazitakani kuvuka boda na vitu halali kuna barua ni za chakula msaada, wachukue zetu pia waende wachome ama watulizi tuende tushukishe vitu maana tumeumia.
Recently, the government impounded and destroyed illicit goods worth 4.6 million shilling at Garbokole area, after they were found to have crossed into Mandera illegally from Somalia.
The government unwillingness to negotiate the reopening of the border may make things worse for the residents. Tough days to come for low-income families is almost certain for now. Ahmed Abdi, NTV, Mandera.
To Garissa, and the Aga Khan Foundation has donated equipment worth 6.5 million shillings to the Garissa Vocational Training Center. The equipment, which included tailoring machines, materials, electrical and beauty therapy products, was received on behalf of the institution by the county government. The donation is part of a 3-year project meant to improve the socio-economic opportunities in Lamu, Garissa and Mandera counties. Rising unemployment among the youth in northern Kenya has been described as a growing problem that also makes them a soft target for recruitment by gangs and terrorists.
Technical and vocational education is one of the major ways in addressing youth unemployment.
Now, our main objective for doing this is just to improve the social and economic opportunities for the youth in Northeastern. And we are particular about this because currently in the country we have a high rate of unemployment. By distributing this equipment in the technical and vocational centers, then we'll increase the enrollment. And also we are trying to balance and encourage ladies or girls to come into the technical and vocational centers.
We are urging the communities to have positive perception towards technical and vocational education, because TVET is the way to go.
And we will encourage our youths from various sub-counties within our county to come and join these institutions for free. Because at the end of the day, these courses are courses which are market-oriented.
Time for the sporting action. Sean Cadavillis is in studio.
The Shindana Stars promotion, a grand prize of Kenya shillings 1 million.
Good afternoon to you. Now, Kenya will be among 4 countries that will compete in the Rugby Africa Women's Cup at the Bosman Stadium in Johannesburg, and that's happening between the 9th and the 17th of August. Other teams competing in the inaugural tournament, which will be played on a round-robin basis, are hosts South Africa, Uganda and Madagascar. The Lionesses will face Madagascar on the 9th of August, Uganda on the 13th, and wrap up their campaign against South Africa on the 17th. The winner of the tournament will qualify qualify directly for the World Cup, whilst the second-best team will play a match against a selected team from South America and join the global repechage tournament if victorious. Qatar inaugurated the first of 7 new World Cup 2022 stadiums on Thursday, just weeks before a crucial FIFA summit that will decide whether to expand the tournament and potentially push it beyond the tiny Gulf states' borders to accommodate a larger format. Fans packed into the Al Janoub Stadium, a 40,000-seat venue designed by the late architect Zaha Hadid and made to resemble the sail of a dhow or traditional wooden sailboat, to cheer on Qatari teams playing in the final of the Emir Cup, a local tournament for the country's club sides. The inauguration comes as football's world governing body FIFA floats a plan to expand the next World Cup to 48 teams from 32, which could require a last-minute co-host.